When looking at cereal, what we're looking for is B vitamins and once again fiber, just like in the breads. We want whole grains. And actually oatmeal is one of the foods recommended by Mayo Clinic as one of the healthiest foods to bring down your cholesterol and to help with your HDL cholesterol. So one good choice would be Oat Bran hot cereal. That's by the Hodgson's Mill brand, and it is a good choice. And good old-fashioned oats by Quaker is a good choice. It's a better choice than doing some of these varieties that are the instant oatmeal. You'd be better served to do the old-fashioned coarse oats, or really the very best choice would be the steel cut oats. They just take a lot more time and they are pretty coarse, but you want to stick with your old-fashioned oats. Also, flax is usually on this aisle. I don't see it here, but I'm sure they have it in the store. Flax seed is not actually a whole grain, but it has all the nutrients of whole grain. And it's just as healthy for your heart. It is a powerful fiber source. So you want to get whole flax seed and just use your little bitty electric coffee grinder and grind it up. And you can place it in yogurt and you can put it in anything. It's a very, very good choice. Now, I'm going to tell you, when I come in a grocery store, I can pick the diabetics out on this aisle we're fixing to go on. Well, when I get to the cold cereal aisle, I see people so frustrated reading these labels because they're trying to find a cereal without sugar, and it's virtually impossible. So I want to walk you down, help you with some choices here, and I'm going to tell you cold cereal can be a healthy choice if you choose very, very carefully. Unfortunately, it's high in carbohydrate while low in fat, so it's heart healthy. But as a diabetic, you have to count those carbs. But remember, you can have a snack in 2 hours. So it would be a good choice for some of your breakfasts. Let's just look at which ones we want to choose and which ones we want to steer away from. Let me give you one hint. If it has Bugs Bunny on it or a cartoon character at all, you want to avoid it pretty much. What I'm looking for in this cereal is I want to find a cereal that has less than 3 grams of fat and more than 2.5 grams of fiber. That's my goal. As a diabetic, I would also want to find one that I could fit into my carbohydrate plan, and that may be the biggest challenge that we do have. Let's see. As I'm looking, what I'm going to look for first, I know Wheaties is a good choice. Let's grab Wheaties and look at that label. Here's Wheaties. And the Wheaties does have, actually the total fat is less than half a gram, and that's in a 3/4 of a cup. And the total carbohydrate is only 22 grams and 3/4 of a cup. That's actually a very good cereal. Cereal is also fortified with vitamins and minerals. We see here that more than 25% of vitamins and minerals are provided in most cold cereal. So this would be a good choice. Let's see how much fiber. Did I mention the fiber? 3 grams and 3/4 cups. So if you're doing a cup and a half, that'd be 6 grams. Wheaties actually a good choice in cereal. That's a good pick. Let me show you Raisin Bran. Raisin Bran is a classic example of one of those foods that is healthy, but for a diabetic, it's not a good choice. Let me show you why. Raisin Bran has raisins, it has whole grain flakes, so it makes sense that this is a very good choice. When you look at it though, for one cup, it has 46 grams of total carbohydrate. And the dietary fiber though is excellent, it's 8. So if you're a man, you would be able to afford this if you only had 1 cup. That's the problem, it's hard to get full on 1 cup. But 1 cup of Raisin Bran would be an excellent choice. It's just, you're not gonna get full on that. Total is also a fairly healthy cereal, and the Fiber One cereals are normally very good choices. The Fiber One frosted shredded wheat, let's look at that one. For 1 cup, the fat is fine, less than 1 gram. The dietary fiber is great, 9 grams in a cup. But the carbohydrate's 50. So this can be worked into some meal plans, but most women, this is too high in carbohydrate to be worked into a meal plan. Okay, and the Fiber One Honey Clusters. This is a good cereal. When we look on the side here, the fat's right in line, less than 1.5 grams. And 1 cup has 1 cup of this has 13 grams of dietary fiber. That is more than half the day's recommended amount. And so this would be an excellent source of fiber. Now on the carbohydrate, it does have 44 grams for a cup of this. But I'll tell you what, that would be a pretty good choice for a breakfast cereal to get your fiber and your multivitamins and minerals in. This is a very good choice. Also, it wouldn't be bad just to crumble some of this up on top of some yogurt just to get that fiber. That's an excellent cereal. Anyway, remember with cereal, what you're looking for is you want it to be low in fat, you want it to be reasonable in carbohydrate, and you want the fiber to be more than 2.5 grams, really more than 3 grams. I want to show you another food that people often think of as healthy, and it's grape nuts. I don't mean to pick on these brands, but for a diabetic, boy, you can run your blood sugar up in a hurry. A half cup of grape nuts cereal has 48 grams of carbohydrate. So a cup of grape nut cereal, well, I mean, you can add it up. It's nearly 100 grams of carbohydrate. You can see where that would be a problem for a diabetic. Now, it is very, very high in fiber, but not as high as your Fiber One over here in the honey clusters. So this would not be a good choice for diabetic. Kellogg's has some Heart Smart cereals that are good choices, and so does Kashi Go Lean. The problem with the Kashi cereals is they are high in fiber. They should bind some of the carbohydrate as it goes into your bloodstream. However, we can't necessarily be assured of that. You can try them and just check your blood sugar afterwards and see how your body responds. You know, the problem with fiber, we see on many labels where they've deducted fiber and come up with net fiber. Problem with that is there's no standardization for what can be called fiber. So a lot of these food manufacturers call foods fiber that aren't, and therefore it'll give you a false total. Hopefully that'll be fixed someday and we can subtract the fiber count from our total carb, but for now you got to go with the total carb. And that's the cereal aisle. You aren't going to find these without sugar, but let me just kind of explain too. Sugar, when they say sugar on a label, it might be from fruit. They don't differentiate from fruit or from granulated sugar on a label. So a lot of times looking and seeing sugar on a label is somewhat misleading. That can still be a healthy food. Even many of the Cheerios cereals are very doable for a diabetic. You just need to read the labels, or better yet, just get on our website and pick one of the ones that's listed there to avoid the frustration I often see on this cereal aisle. And I hope that's helped. This is a tough aisle for diabetics.